to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Anthony Matos with sports, and Gretchen Carey with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. The Burlington Planning Board has approved the town's master plan, a 157-page document that outlines the town's vision for the economy, the environment, and culture. The master plan comes with recommendations for land use, transportation, and housing, with items like making Cambridge Street more like a main street, building more starter homes, and incentivizing people to bike or walk instead of drive. Burlington Assistant Planner Caleb Zimmerman told BNews the plan is, quote, a very big deal, saying having a master plan is very important because it gives outsiders, residents, developers, and business owners a sense of the identity of the town and where we want to move in the future. BNews will cover the plan in depth in a program in the near future. Burlington held its May town meeting this week in order to approve the town's budget for next year and sign off on various spending items. On its first night, among other items, the town approved $100,000 to relocate the town dog pound and $41,000 to demolish a single-family home at Dearborn Road, directly behind town hall, that is currently vacant and owned by the town. On its second night, town meeting members questioned a request to spend $20,000 on diversity, equity, and inclusion training for elected officials. The request came after the town select board voted in February not to continue its DEI subcommittee. Town meeting members worried the request for funds was too vague, but former subcommittee member Nancy Bonacera, who is also a town meeting member, said vague is better than nothing. Town meeting also approved more than $1 million for a feasibility study on renovating or replacing the Burlington High School. Part of the funding for the study will come from money that was previously appropriated to replace the high school music room floor. Town meeting also approved $20,000 each for seasonal decorations for the town common, Burlington's 225th anniversary celebration, and this year's July 4th parade, as well as $2 million for a new aerial fire truck. Town meeting also considered a request to spend $50,000 to move the town's pickleball field about 75 feet from its current location after neighbors near the current site expressed concern about noise pollution. Town meeting members worried 75 feet wouldn't be enough to solve the problem. Burlington certainly isn't alone in its pickleball problems, as it's increased popularity dramatically. Dozens of communities in Massachusetts and around the country have held public meetings, managed controversies, and even passed bans related to America's fastest growing sport. Despite the concerns, town meeting approved the warrant article with a narrow vote, 48 to 47. The answer perhaps might be to make a quieter pickleball, since if you really hit it hard, it sounds like a gunshot. Now, you may know that Burlington's town meeting has 126 members, and some of them were voting for the first time this week after winning seats in the body in the April elections. How do these newly elected officials figure out how to do the job? BNews producer Sydney Bowles takes us to a boot camp that teaches them the ropes. Let's look.
Welcome to boot camp.
In the basement of the Burlington Town Hall Annex one recent evening, Burlington Town Clerk Amy Warfield schooled newly elected town meeting members on what exactly this local governance thing is all about.
Basically, the boot camp is an idea I started up with in terms of introducing new people who have gotten elected to town meeting or are just interested in town meeting about what town meeting is about. Many people don't come from either a New England background or don't have a government process knowledge. So they get elected or they want to get involved with town, and they think town meeting would be a great place to start. And it is, because it's it is the foundation, I think, for local government.
New town meeting members learn about their roles and responsibilities as elected officials.
As a town meeting participant in Burlington, we have representative town meeting. So they are representing other people in their precinct. I would go down to Rohannes Park and just say, what precinct are you in? Do you know? If you don't, well, here's a map. Let's look up, that kind of stuff. And just ask them, Recreation wants to have a new needs a couple new vehicles. They're this much money. What do you think about it? Those types of things. This is where the budgets are voted for. This is where the bylaws are voted on. This is where the zoning bylaws are voted on. So they're really an integral part, and they need to have a very broad-based knowledge to be able to then make decisions on that. I often wonder, people say, well, why didn't you do it before the election? I said, no, because I don't want to scare them off. We'll get them in, and then they'll have to be committed for some period of time.
From the Town Hall Annex, I'm Sydney Bowles.
A Burlington firefighter has been charged with animal cruelty and will be arraigned in Boston on May 31. Tyler Falconer faces charges related to his South Boston dog training and boarding company, Falco K9. The charges include animal cruelty and improperly tethering animals in cases in 2020 and 23. Falconer has been on paid leave from his firefighting position since allegations of abuse surfaced in March. In a statement, the town of Burlington said Falconer remains on leave and they will be determining how to proceed at a later date. With Burlington's 225th birthday coming up next year and $20,000 to spend celebrating, the town is seeking volunteers for a 225th celebration committee. The town says they're looking for applicants with a love for Burlington who wish to plan programs and events to recognize the birthday. If you wish to be considered for the committee, send a letter of interest to Lynn Mills at lmills@burlington.org. Community members are invited to a virtual meeting on May 18th to discuss the future of Pine Glen and Fox Hill Elementary Schools. The community meeting comes as residents raise concerns over the possibility of combining the two schools. The school committee previously voted to keep all 4 elementary schools, but as part of working with the Massachusetts School Building Authority, which contributes a large portion of the money, on whether or not to replace Fox Hill, they required it to consider all possible options, including combining Fox Hill and Pine Glen. Amanda Hannafin, a 5th grade teacher at Pine Glen, who is also a resident of the district, attended a recent school committee meeting asking for more Pine Glen representation on the Fox Hill School Building Committee.
But I do think Pine Glen parents are completely in the dark as far as what I think Fox Hill, like Bob said, this is worded funny because it's worded as the Fox Hill building project, Fox Hill School, Fox Hill, that's all you hear. But in the fine print, Pine Glen is involved a lot in there. So I think a parent who's juggling kids, juggling sports, juggling life, not keeping up with school committee meetings like the teacher I am, might be missing this. And I think that you're not doing your due diligence on that building committee if we are not then taking that step, having that discussion, and then saying we need to get as many voices as we can or as many people to step in.
School committee member Melissa Masato, who is also chair of the Fox Hill School Building Committee, says she fully supports having more Pine Glen representation in the group. BCAT will broadcast the May 18th meeting, so stay tuned for more. The school committee this week also heard a presentation on the possibility of sunsetting BEAM, the middle school's gifted and talented program. Excuse me. Marshall Simon's principal, Carrie Purchase, said she'd spoken with 9 other local middle schools, and 8 of them said they didn't have separate gifted and talented programs. And the one that did had concerns about it, like the fact that selection is subjective and it operates outside of the frameworks of the rest of the school. But she also encouraged the committee to pay attention to the strengths.
Is there anything in the strengths column, student engagement, addressing alternative learning styles, inquiry encouraged, project-based learning, experiential learning, creativity, integration of arts into curriculum, develops executive functioning skills, foster independence and promotes maturation, and develops self-advocacy and self-confidence? Is there anything in that list that all students wouldn't benefit from?
Purchase said she recommends continuing BEAM for next school year for students who are already in the program, while working on ways to increase options for more advanced students in regular classes. The Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce gathered recently for its spring soiree, the first in person since the pandemic. The event included speeches from the chamber leadership and the appointment of new board members. The presenting sponsor was AFC Urgent Care, and platinum sponsors included 3rd Ave Burlington, Riemer Bronstein, and Oracle. Burlington-based Nuance Communications has been acknowledged by the Stevie Awards, a premier award in the business world. In 2023, Nuance was honored as leaders in sales and customer service, contact center solution, and technology partner of the year. Nuance uses artificial intelligence to solve problems in healthcare and customer service industries. With the weather warming up, more activities are coming to Burlington, including at the Burlington Mall. BNews reporter Tad Stefanak was there, and he has more.
As the warm weather approaches, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department is once again partnering with the Burlington Mall for fun, socializing activities.
We are partnered with the Burlington Rec Department, and they're bringing down a class, and then everyone's going to be able to go inside of Common Craft and enjoy some sips.
We're doing yoga to start. We started with yoga, and then we're doing Zumba, and then we have a hip-hop class to follow.
And this is one of the many programs that we have here at the park. We have over 40 programs that we've scheduled in May and going right through October.
I think it's really nice to get the community together to support this space that we have, and also to get the word out that the Recreation Department is offering outside classes supported by the mall, which is lovely. And it's a wonderful space to do it.
We have a lot for families. We also have culture as part of our programming with Sunset Salsa. Also have cornhole leagues. So we're constantly having some great programs, and obviously with the Burlington Park and Rec Department, on Tuesdays we have fitness series that will start in May and go all the way until the end of August, as well as a very favorite from last year, Sunset Yoga.
You know, you can take it indoors all winter and fall, and we have this opportunity to utilize this space in the spring and summer. And the sun comes down. It's in the recreation brochure.
This summer, the whole family can take advantage of the fun, healthy activities of the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department at the Burlington Mall.
Come down and enjoy.
Burlington has a new transportation option for large families or big groups. Tad Stefanak introduces us to business owner Khalil Pierre, who is turning his vision into a reality.
Pierre Khalil is a man with a plan and a van.
All my licenses from the state I've already applied for and paid for, and they've been approved.
Recently before the Burlington Select Board, Pierre is rolling out his new transportation business.
Yeah, so it's an interesting story how Shuttle Up came to life. Almost 2 years ago, my wife and I had welcomed our fourth child to the family. We decided to go on vacation with all 4 kids. So now we need to get to the airport. So I went online, looked around, and to my surprise, there was no service that offers this much capacity. So what we ended up having to do was my wife had to take the SUV with the kids to the airport, and I got an Uber just for me and the luggages, and I followed her. So we did this twice, 2 vacations, before we decided enough is enough. We need a solution for this. We need a bigger vehicle that, fits all of us and luggages, and it's fantastic. A lot of people have big families, and those that know me, they would give me a call, hey, Pierre, can you do us a favor? We need a ride to the airport, or we need a ride to a concert, or whatever it is. And of course I would say yes, and this is when I realized that, the town of Burlington needs a service like this. We decided to open up Shuttle Up and provide luxurious, comfortable ride to Burlington residents who have big families or large groups. We do airport rides, graduation parties, birthday parties, bachelorette parties, weddings, sporting events, concerts, you name it. Where there is a need for a large group of people to be in the same vehicle and go somewhere, we provide that service.
Shuttling through the streets of Burlington, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
Your transportation problems are solved. We are here for you.
Okay, perfect.
Burlington Air Force veteran and school committee member Jeremy Brooks is gearing up for a big challenge. It's part of the TACP Challenge, a full-day run for the TACP Association. That's a nonprofit that supports the family members of Air Force members killed on duty or in training. Beginning at noon on May 20 and lasting until noon on the 21st, Brooks or another person will be running or walking around the high school track. This is the 12th annual challenge. Last year, Brooks took the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. shift. He says the run is a chance for quiet reflection and to remember lost comrades, like his former roommate and colleague, Timmy Officer, who passed away in a parachuting accident in 2015. Brooks is accepting volunteers to take part in the challenge. Interested can get in touch with him at jeremy.p.brooks1@gmail.com. It's looking like a warmer spring weekend with a lower chance of rain. Meteorologist Peter Brown has the forecast. And stay tuned for your community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Well, hello everyone. This is Peter Brown. Look at your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading in towards the middle of May. I know it's hard to believe that we're that far into spring, but here we go when we have some great weather coming up for you for the next week or so. And starting our period on Friday, we should be seeing temperatures at this time of the year up around 70, and we're going to be up around 80 or maybe into the low 80s on Friday. So a really nice day out there. And as we round out our period, getting into next Thursday, again, our average highs should be in the low 70s by this time of the year. Going to be a little bit cooler than that by the time we get to the end of next week. A little bit of a cooling trend coming in here with maybe some showers, but really nothing too crazy. Going to be a really nice spring week. And of course, as we head further and further and closer to summer, our length of days are just about getting to their maximum in the next few weeks. No hard to believe that, but that definitely is a sure sign that we are heading on towards summer. So as we go ahead, let's take a look what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next few days. Looking at our temperature map, they're looking like we're going to be having about average highs for this time of the year. That's going to be what I'm seeing as well. We're going to start out above average on Friday and then end it out a little bit cooler than average. So that is pretty much correct there, what they're seeing. That's what I'm seeing as well. And looking at our precipitation chances, looks like we're going to be seeing probably average to slightly below average precipitation, which again is a good thing since we've had so much rain over the past 3 to 4 weeks here. So a good chance for us to dry out a little bit. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up, and really not much here to say. Just kind of chance of spot showers here every 3 or 4 days or so. Again, very nice here on Friday. That's the warmest day of the week coming up in the low 80s. So really beautiful out there. Beautiful weekend. It's going to be cooling down a little bit from the mid to upper 70s, getting down to around 70s. We see an onshore wind starting to come in here on Sunday and a cold front coming in that's going to really dry us out and cool us off. But then starting on the work week, Monday and Tuesday, our temperatures are going to go right back up again. Again, some chances of showers on Monday, but temperatures really pleasant in the low to mid 70s. And therefore, after that, getting into Wednesday and Thursday, again, we're going to see that chance of showers coming in by the end of the week and temperatures cooling off a little bit on Thursday down into the mid 60s. But really, all in all, a real nice spring pattern coming up. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On May 20th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Community Health Fair will be held at Burlington High School. Come by the fair and experience fitness classes, eye exams, balance screenings, and more, all for free. Also on May 20th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department is having the Family Fishing Festival at the Mill Pond Reservoir. For more information, go to burlingtonrecreation.org. On May 21st at 2 p.m., the Burlington Music Department will be having their spring concert at the Fogelberg Performing Arts Center, featuring the BHS Orchestra, Chamber Singers, Concert Chorus, Symphonic Winds, and Winter Guard. The concert is free and open to the public. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
And now let's check in with Anthony Matos for the latest in Burlington High School spring sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos. In this weekly sports report, we're just a couple weeks away from the end of the Red Devils regular season. It was the 25th anniversary of the Hockey Alumni Games at the Burlington Ice Palace. For more, we go to BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris.
The Burlington High School Hockey Association held their annual Hockey Alumni Games fundraiser on the weekend of April 28th. This year marks something special, the 25th anniversary.
Just a great tradition, a great day for our program. A lot of guys come back to play. We have a real good showing for this second game with the young guys. So it's just a great way to raise money for scholarships. That's what it's really all about. We've raised a lot of money over the last 25 years, and it's just a great reunion for our Burlington High alums.
We've been doing this for over 25 years. This is our 25th game, and it's always great to get the guys together and, more importantly, to raise money for these kids going to college, to help them out as much as we can.
Alums from a variety of different classes are glad to see one another on the ice during gameplay.
A lot of fun, always a lot of fun. I don't play that much anymore, so I'm happy I didn't get hurt, but it was I always have a lot of fun playing with the other alums.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I was a little nervous. I don't skate much anymore, but I felt okay out there, and it's great to be out there with all the guys.
It's cool to see guys play after high school too, whether it's men's league, college, kind of all stick together. It's kind of little different than most programs where a lot of kids go to other places. It's a good enough program here where you can still develop and potentially make it to the next level. But if not, you have fun playing in front of your family and friends. 25 years is a pretty good run here. We still get a good turnout.
Like talking to other guys that play different sports, they don't really have an alumni game or an alumni presence. So 25 years of doing this is pretty special.
It's just great to see an awesome turnout here. I know people put a lot of work into this, and the alumni committee really just does a great job every year, and it's nice to get together with friends and family, so we appreciate that.
Happy anniversary. We look forward to seeing past, present, and future alumni compete at the Ice Palace for the next 25. From the Burlington Ice Palace, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports. Ray gets it in, so it is tied 6-6. Number 27 on the white gets it.
The undefeated streak came to an end for the softball team as they had their first loss of the season on May 6th against Westfield High, 2-1. On May 8th, they were shut out by Central Catholic, 3-0. The ladies got back into the win column on May 9th against Watertown with a 5-0 shutout. Softball goes to 13-2 after a fantastic 9-0 win over Melrose on May 11th. Way to go, Devils. Burlington Unified basketball team was at Winchester High School on May 10th, where they came away with a 63-45 win. The Red Devil track teams both finished out the regular season against Wilmington on May 9th at Varsity Field. We were there and took some clips of the races and field events. Here is senior Grace Hannafin running the girls' 100-yard dash. Hannafin came in first place with a time of 12.59 seconds. Members of the boys team, including senior Tyler Callahan and juniors Alex Murray and Charles Desmond, competing in the 110-meter hurdles. Here's the clip. Callahan came in first place, 17.01. Murray, 17.31 in second, and Desmond in third with 17.39. The girls got their win over Wilmington, 74-62, finishing the regular season at 4-1. In addition, they were crowned Middlesex League Freedom Division champions. The boys had a dominant win over Wilmington, 105-31. Burlington was named Middlesex League Freedom Division champions and had their fourth consecutive undefeated season. Congrats to both on your success. Boys volleyball competed with Somerville High School on May 5th at the Vanilla Gymnasium, where the Red Devils came out victorious in the sets 3-1. On May 9th, the teams were shut out by Arlington, 0-3 in the sets. Burlington's record goes to 6-5. Girls and boys lacrosse had matchups against Belmont Martyrs on May 5th. The girls defeated Belmont at Harris Field with a final score of 11-8. The boys came out victorious as well, 13-1. Great job, Devs. Burlington boys did have a game on May 8th against Melrose, where they got another win of 15-4. Both teams faced the Woburn Tanners on May 10th. We were at the girls' game, and Aiden Hayes has these highlights.
Girls lacrosse had a home game at Varsity Field against their rival, the Woburn Tanners. In the first half, Burlington scored 7 goals. Woburn scored 2 goals. Heading into halftime, the score was 7-2 Lady Devils. In the second half, Burlington scored an additional 8 goals, while the Tanners scored 5 goals. Your final, 15-7 Burlington.
The girls are now 7-3, and the boys are now 10-3 after a 19-8 win over Woburn. Boys baseball won back-to-back games on May 5th and 7th. On the 5th, they competed at the Carroll Varsity Baseball Field in Woburn, where they won a close game of 7-6. Burlington was back at home against Stoneham on the 7th, where they won 4-1. At Victory Field in Watertown, the Devils lost by a point of 3-2 on May 9th. The team is now 7-7 after a 5-3 loss in Melrose on May 11th. The girls and boys tennis teams both competed against Watertown on May 10th. The girls defeated the Red Raiders 4-1, while the boys had a shutout win of 5-0. The 9-3 boys and the girls remain at 7-5 after the meeting against Melrose was postponed. The boys moved to 10-3 after a 5-0 win over Melrose on May 11th. For more Red Devil action, go to bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for now. I'm Anthony Matos, back to you guys in the studio.
As always, we leave you with a photo of the week. This week's photo comes from Micah Spale and Ito Bassani, and it's of 3-month-old Stella learning all about naps from her big brother Milo. Thank you for sending that in, Mike and Ito. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of friends, family, pets, gardens, etc. Anything you'd like to share with us in the community. If so, email it to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. And that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher. Our director today was Robert Parrish. Thank you for joining us.